So let's take a look at how a real estate agent can choose a neighborhood to become a specialist in, but guarantee themselves a six-figure income. How can you get to a position that you can actually guarantee a six-figure income? Let me show you exactly how we're going to do that. We're going to go to the board here, and I'm going to show you, let's call this place Smith Farms, okay? We're going to do a little research on this neighborhood here. I'm actually taking a small neighborhood using real-world examples so you can see exactly how that would work. The first thing we need to do is make sure that real estate agents are getting paid over $400,000 a year. Now, what do I mean by that? Whether you're licensed or you're not licensed, agents are going to get paid a certain amount of money based on the number of transactions every year. So that neighborhood is worth X dollars to the real estate industry every single year like clockwork, regardless if you do deals in there or not. We have marketing campaigns that can get us a 25% market share. In reality, the stats that we've tracked as best as possible, the first year we get a 20% market share. Every year thereafter, we get a 30% market share. Let me show you what that looks like. So in this example here, there are 313 homes in this neighborhood, okay? I want to make sure you're following along here. Now, obviously, there's not a lot of homes that have been selling here recently, so what we found is they only had about a 7% turnover. I do not care about turnover rate in a neighborhood. You're going to see a lot of people say, well, you want a neighborhood that has a lot of turnover. No, I want a neighborhood that's going to make me 100 grand. That's what I'm looking for. So in this case, they had a 7% turnover rate, which I don't care about that. What really matters to me is it was 22 sales over a 12-month period. 313 homes in the neighborhood, 22 of them sold. Here's what you got to remember. That means there's 44 transaction sides. You follow me so far? So we had 44 transaction sides. Now, this is a smaller neighborhood. The average sales price is only $380,000. Okay, now let's go low, and let's say in this area, buyers agents, sellers agents, whatever, they all get about 2.5% per side. I know it might be higher in your area, it might be lower. Now the buyer's agent gets paid directly from the buyer, they might negotiate it in a deal, whatever, 2.5% per side. So what I know then is 380,000, 2.5%, that means the average commission is going to be about $9,500 per transaction side. But there was 44 transactions that closed that year. So 9,500 times 44. That means this neighborhood paid realtors $418,000 last year, give or take. Some of them might have been at 4% per deal. Some might have been at 1% per deal. But this is going to be the average, which tells me this neighborhood is bringing in $418,000 for realtors. This is the number I care about. Because now what I know is if I can get a 25% market share from this right here, I'm making over 100 grand a year. So now we can start to extrapolate out, what am I mailing? What type of marketing am I doing? Can I do a little bit of online and offline marketing? And how can I budget myself to make sure that throughout that year, I'm not going to get them all at once, but throughout that year, can I get a 25% market share? Imagine for a minute you only got 15 or 20%. Are you still going to be okay? Of course you are. If you make $70,000, $80,000 on a neighborhood, it's totally fine. What if you spend $1,500 a month in advertising? Wouldn't that be crazy? $1,500. You know what I want to do? Let's take a look here. Let's say that we're going $1,500 a month in advertising. Okay? And we do that every single month. Now, it's going to be hard to spend that on 300 houses. You remember with Smith Farms, this is 313 homes. So it's going to be hard to spend that kind of money, but let's fictitiously say we could spend $18,000 for the year and we get let's just say a 20% market share. We'd be doing very bad if that were the case, but if we got 20% of the transactions that close there, what we're looking at is $18,000 in marketing, okay? That $18,000 in marketing would then generate at least $80,000 in revenue, which means it's not even a referral fee. $80,000, if you paid a 25% referral fee, you're paying what? 20 grand. right? So we're not even paying $20,000, $25,000. A 25% or a 30% referral fee is completely normal. We can actually own this market. By the way, you'll never be able to spend that much. If you did a 5-page brochure every month to 300 homes, you're not going to be able to spend that much. But I want to go fictitiously and say that that's where we end up. Now we know that we can invest in our marketing. And keep in mind, where I say this $418,000 that the neighborhood is paying there, that's on the buy side and the sell side. That doesn't have anything to do with the listings that you take. They're going to be going out and buying another home somewhere else. Or the buyers that come in here, they may have a home that they're selling before they move in. You're going to make a lot more than that. This is why marketing works. Do you realize nobody's ever broken down this math for you? Nobody's ever broken down that the worst thing you can ever do is have your advertising be $0, or worse, spend money to promote yourself. To try and promote, if you'd like to sell your home, call me, and you send that to a neighborhood and nobody replies. If you have great marketing, you should anticipate 20% market share the first year and up to 30% the next year and every year thereafter. This is a ATM machine for you. This Smith Farms example, that's not the real name, but these are real numbers of a neighborhood. You can see just how realistic this is. If there were 313 homes, they only had 22 sales. But we know that means 44 transaction sides. That's just in the neighborhood. That doesn't include those sellers are moving somewhere else and those buyers moving in had a home to sell before they come to Smith Farms. You're going to make more than that. This is the math behind owning a real business. If you are a real estate practitioner and you as an agent, you're out there trying to generate revenue, really what you're in the business of is multiplying assets through advertising. This $18,000, that's your assets. How do I multiply this through advertising so that I can generate the kind of revenue that I'm looking for? I want to point something out. I went very high estimating the expenses. I went very low estimating the income. You should be lower on this number and higher on this number, thus giving you a bigger spread. This is how real estate riches are actually created as an agent. You don't need side hustles. You don't need to be invested in houses and buying rental properties and doing all that stuff. This is a license to print money. This is how you get rich as a real estate agent. One of the reasons that you follow me here, you ring the bell, all of the breakdowns that I show you here, we do that because we know we can make a fortune as a real estate agent if we know our numbers. Just like any business in the world, you can spend as much as you want as long as you know you have a multiple coming back of that. This is an example of how we do it. I've got a video coming up where I'll show you some of the marketing pieces, how we do it, and it's actually far less than $1,500 a month on a neighborhood like this. Imagine you were spending $1 a piece, which is going to be very high. That's only $300. So out of $300 for a mailer, you're looking at these kinds of rates. This is unbelievable. So I'm going to show you exactly how we make that happen, and seeing is believing. You'll get to see how that works. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts below. I'm Greg Luther. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye for now. Hey, it's Greg Luther, and listen, if you don't follow this channel, there's a good chance you're never going to see me again. I consistently put out regular content, and it's extremely helpful for real estate agents to grow their business. I want to keep you up to date on what's working so that you're in the know and you can take action accordingly. So be sure that you like and comment here, but most importantly, make sure you follow, share, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on anything. I'm here to help you in growing your business, and I'd love to do so. Follow right now.